Okay. Ooh. Like my camera settings are finally where they were before I went to go see Joji and it got all wackadoodle. Anyway, so I finally got to see Obsession, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I mean, people have seen it already, but I'll go into spoilers when I get into it. So yeah, like this, like the plot of this movie is kind of like it's been done before, kind of shit. And I've said this many times. I'm fine if you kind of rehash something, but you gotta give me something. You know what I mean? You can't just we're gonna here we go slop, and then it's like the same shit, and then you're like that didn't really add anything. But this one, it's a guy, there's a girl he works with, she's pretty, he's like, I'm gonna tell her I like her. And she's like part of the friend group too. And I went to like her. And the friends are like, just tell her you like her. And he's like, yeah. Then he like makes a wish. I mean, you've probably seen people like do the meme where they're like, oh, I wish for, anyway. Makes the wish comes true, but it's OD because he wishes, like, was it, like, I wish for her to love me more than anyone else in the world. So of course, hence the freaking, the movie title, Obsession. And she is like crazy, of course. And of course, as the movie progresses, it gets carried away, of course, you know. Um, and of course, he gets kind of like, oh, maybe this isn't what I wanted. It's like, wow, okay, again, one of those be careful what you wish for kind of movies. I do like that you aren't supposed to like the main character. I don't see how anyone could like empathize with that main character. I like that I like that they didn't like have it gray, or maybe to me it didn't seem gray. Some people they'd be like, oh, that's fine. No, I want a girl to be that fucking insane. Anyway, but I like that it's like, yeah, I know he's the main character, but fuck this guy. You know. Anyway, I guess I'll go into spoilers. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3 spoilers. I can't snap. My hand hurts. Anyway, um, so the main character, well, the main girl, Nikki, that he wants to get with. Again, she's pretty, blah blah, and it's very obvious, like before, like the possession of the obsession takes over her. She's just like, she's cool with the guy. She's cool with the main guy. You can tell it's more of like, we're cool, we're friends. You can tell there's nothing like nothing like flirty, and I can see why the main character could probably think certain things are her being flirty when she's just kind of being a bitch to him, rightfully so, because he deserves that. Um, and he's just so fucking stupid, and it's also like, dude, you guys, it's not just like, yeah, like, you're friends. Like, I think you all work together. So, again, you guys are, like, in close proximity to one another and all that stuff. Like, if you have feelings for her, just fucking say it, bro. Like, God, all your friends are like, at least say it, like, fine. The worst thing she can say is no, kind of shit, whatever. But it's like, come on, man. Just fucking do it. It's probably obvious, in the friend group that like he likes her. The girl probably knows it because you could tell she's not stupid, because even in the beginning of the movie, again, pre obsession possession, she's just kind of like, you guys are acting weird, that kind of stuff. Um, oh, I love that. Okay, random thing. I love that the store that they work in, like at this music store, that they work in, is the music store from Wayne's World. Where he's like, oh, the white guitar, the Stratocaster. Oh, let me play the "Can I Help You" riff. That kind of shit. I was like, oh my god, that's the store from, Wayne's World. Crazy. Anyway, um, so yeah, it's very obvious. And again, he's just chicken shit, so he won't tell her like, I kind of like you. So instead, because again, he's so like he himself is very obsessed with her, that when they're on the phone together, and she's like, oh my god, I think I dropped like my thing or something. He's like, I'm gonna go to like a crystal store and get her another one of these thingamajigs. He goes in there and like, oh, do you have the thing? And instead of like buying a thing for her, he sees like the wish will thing and like, sure, it's it's like a gag gift thing. You're at like a crystal witchy store, like, sure, they'll have protection spell, whatever the fuck they got, right? So you're like, fine, what was it, like $7.99 or something? You're like, fine, gag gift, whatever. and then, you know, it like snaps, and then like, and it's so funny because he drives the girl home, and she even like literally like looks at him, goes, "All right, this is your time to tell me, like, do you like me?" He didn't need to like he could have just been like, you know, just like a little like, yeah, like, okay. But instead he's like, nah, well, what do you mean? And she's like, whatever. You can tell it was like, she knew, again, she's not stupid. But then like the obsession possession got over her, and all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah, hey, that kind of stuff. And one thing I really liked was that her normal self would kind of like come out every so often, because she'd just be like, okay, I think, and then she'd be like, what the fuck? Wait, what? That's weird. And all of a sudden back to like there's like this early on, there's a scene like she's like on top of him, they're making out, and all of a sudden she just like comes to, and she's like, what the fuck? Like realizing like, wait, was I just making out with a random guy? And then realizing, oh my god, that's my friend. She goes, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god, you know? And then all of a sudden she's like, oh my god, it's fine. What? Oh my god, did I fall? You know? And it's like, Jesus Christ. And like, the dude is so gross. He's so gross. He obviously, like, once he realized, like, oh shit, this thing works, of course he's taking advantage of her. You know, he's like, oh my god, I got to kiss her, blah, blah. They're at work, like, behind, blah, 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 you know, like, behind the supply shit, blah, 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 all that stuff. The dude friend is like, you know, he's like, the friend group was like, okay, why all of a sudden are you guys dating? Like, we all know you like her. It didn't seem like she liked you like that. Even, like, the girl in the group was like, like, she's told me that she loves you like a brother. Like, not, you know, it's not. And then he's like, oh, you're just mad, you know, like that kind of shit. And again, he takes advantage of her to the point where, you know, like, he has sex with her. And it's obviously not consensual because she didn't actually consent to it. The fucking, you know, obsession shit, you know, like, again, you see it how many times where she's like, what the fuck, what the, you know? There's like the party scene where she goes like, it's not me! And she like takes a bottle and like smashes on the table and then like hits herself in the head because she's like, you know, it's probably like, she's probably like in the sunken place, you know what I'm saying? And she probably sees like herself like doing all these things and like kissing the guy that she's like, ew, no, and like seeing that she has no control over her body and all that stuff, and seeing that, you know, like they're having sex and all that stuff, and she's like, because there's some part where like she's like asleep, like the crazy part is asleep, but her actual self, and she's like, please kill me. Please kill me. And the dude, again, he's so gross. He's like, well, what's wrong with being with me? Triggered! Because, like, little backstory, I was friends with a dude for, like, a hot minute. And in the midst of just being friends, it was very, like, I don't want to hear any, like, oh, did you leave? No. I put my fucking boundaries down. I said, no, we cool. I'm not looking to date. And I said my shit. Are we surprised I would say my shit? I always say my shit. I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm so big. No. Fuck that shit. I'm not like that. And then randomly, this dude was just like, one day, you know, just like, you know, like friends, you're sending memes, you're doing that. Dude was just like, you know, I feel like the last 6 months we've been dating. What? What do you mean? How? I mean, it explains why the motherfucker was constantly mad when, like, Paul would be around. It's like, that's my bestie. Alright? No, he thought the dude was competition because, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the fuck. What is wrong with men? You know? I mean, anyway. But it's like, Jesus Christ. Like I said, anyway, back to the movie. Let's not talk about me. But, like, you know, and again, the guy was so gross because he's like, you know, you see the scene where she's like laying there. And obviously, it's like, you know, she's not her, and she's like, oh, like that. And he's just fucking jackhammering her. And I'm just like, you know. I remember, the cops are coming after me. I remember, it was like when I saw like the second Wonder Woman movie in 1984, and I remember being like, isn't it weird that like she had sex with Chris Pine, but it's not actually Chris Pine, it's a guy who, you know, Like, he used to, like, she used his body. Like, isn't it weird that, like, that guy didn't consent to having sex with her? And, like, I was like, am I the friend who's too woke? And then, like, after I said that, like, a lot of people I knew were like, oh my god. Oh my god. And I was like, let me know. I think I'm just being the friend who's too woke. They were like, no, this is the right time for you to be that person. Holy shit. Holy shit, But yeah, like, and again, the guy knows that he's taking advantage of her in so many ways, and all that stuff. And again, he's just like, whatever, I get to make out and kiss with this, pretty girl and all that stuff. We work together, blah, blah. She won't leave my place, because there's even like a part in the movie where she's like, hey, I'm gonna give him my 2 weeks. I gotta move on. This isn't for me. And he's like, oh my god, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. And he's probably obviously upset because it's like, not because she's like really moving on, it's because he doesn't get to see her every day at work, even though she's part of the friend, whatever, guys. Anyway, so, like, there's like the scene where, like, he goes to leave for work, and she, like, duct tapes the door, like, crazy. The whole door's covered in duct tape, and they got all the crisscrosses and shit, and then he tries to, like, open the door, like, peel the door, all that stuff. And then he leaves, and she's just standing there, like that. There she goes, just like The Exorcist. She just stands there and just, like, pisses all over the rug. And I'm like, oh, God. Because, like, either her actual sunken place self was just like, fuck it, I'll make a mess. Because then when he gets back, she's like she had, like, vomit. She's like, and she's just like, you're back! All that stuff. And he's like, oh, God. And, like, you don't see what the rug looks like until, like, minutes later, but she's like, oh my god, a shower, I'll clean it up. Squish, 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 squish. You're like, you know the duty down there, the duty, you saw her pee. Then there's like, the fuck happened? I don't know what something unplugged. And then, like, she freaking, like I said, she probably puked. It's all different forms of fucking, bodily fluids all over, like, his rug. Squish, 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 And then, yeah, then it was like, oh, well, I want to do a boys' night out, and she's like, no! Like, in the shower. And he's like, okay. And that's came to the part where, she smashed herself in the head with the bottle. And, they were doing kind of like a truth or dare kind of thing with Jenga pieces. And she picks one, and it was like something about take a shot, whatever. So she, like, reads a story. She's like, oh, I think she's a writer or something. She's like, I'm coming up with this. And it's pretty much kind of like a Hansel and Gretel kind of retelling. But in this one, like, Hansel and Gretel, like, it's kind of incestuous. And it kind of, like, leads to how that girl feels about him. Because, like, the actual girl, as you heard from the friends, like, oh, she sees you as a brother. But she's in this, like, ooh, possession, obsession thing. So she's like, I love you, just like, I'm Gretel and you're Hansel, and I want to know where my brother is. Yeah. That kind of stuff. And you're just like, oh, and the entire party is like, all right, girl, that's kind of crazy, okay. And then the guy picks up the thing, and it's like, oh, kiss the person to your left, and the person to the left is, like, the other girl in the group. And that's what you probably see in the trailer where she's like, like, don't do that. And she, like, pulls the girl's chair away, and then she's like, kiss, that kind of stuff. And, like, whatchamacallit, anyway, it turns out that, like, the other guy in the group had, like, he's been sleeping with Nikki, the possessed girl, on and off from time to time. It's just, obsessed dude had no fucking clue, and then that's why they thought, like, oh, they're dating, like, she's dating, like, obsessed guy to get back at him because, they slept a little, which isn't true. And it also turns out that the girl who's like, oh, kiss the person on your left, the other girl in the group, she actually has a thing for the main character guy. And, like, as she kind of, like, was trying to, like, tell him, and they were, like, in her car, the fucking Nikki just, like, busts through the window and puts a brick on the steering wheel and just starts going boom, 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 like, mashes the girl's head onto the brick, which I found funny that she's mashing her head to the brick and not brick to the head. Also, I love, because it being such, like, low budget, that you could see the dummy that she's using. Like, they didn't even bother trying to, like, blend. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I do love that you could tell it's a dummy that's going like like all that stuff. And the thing is, during the scene in the car, you kind of knew it was coming, because again, in horror, there's no reprieve relief, you know? It only happens at the end, and even then that might not happen, because sometimes something mid-credit sequence or whatever might fuck up. So when they're talking, they're like, yeah, I know, blah, 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 and I'm watching the background. I'm watching the background. I'm like, you cannot. And even then, I saw it coming, and even then, like, the glass breaking even made me go, oh, shit, like that. Like, I was like, oh, fuck. And it's, you know, and then all she was just, like, an eye. Like, her head was all smashed, and it was just a fucking eye. And then the boy, like, he gets back to his house, because the girl's like, oh my god, I'll fix it, because she's, you know, fucking possessed. Oh my god, blah, blah, blah. He goes back home, and the girl is wearing the dead girl's, like, dress, because the dead girl is in the living room, just, like, naked body, because, you know, she stripped her of her clothes, with just, the one eye from the fucking fucked up skull just showing up, you know? And then she's like, it's me, I'm just like her, right? Anyway, so then, like, she had a gun, because, you know, that's what you do when you're obsessed with someone, you got a gun. So it's still very warm out, so the camera overheated way faster, that's why I was acting funny. Um, anyway, because I'm almost done talking, I'm just gonna quickly get through this. So, yeah, so the girl had the gun, and she was just like, you know, like, I want you, guy, forever kind of shit. And the guy also, I found it funny that the Wishing Willow thing had like a helpline, you know, and of course, like, the dude on the other end who's very just like, you know, what's up? Oh, you wanna not have this wish anymore? Well, too bad. All right. Well, the only way that your wish can end is for you or her to die. Um, BT dubs, just so you know, you know. Yeah, and it was like that. It was like very like, who gives a shit? Anyway, so obviously, this movie has progressed. The guy, as much as I want her, and she's so this and that, and using her body and all that shit, he's like, okay, I can't do this anymore. He goes in the freaking, you know, kitchen, goes in the bathroom, takes a bunch of, you know, meds that were like his grandma and all that stuff, because the movie starts off with like his cat dying because somehow his cat got into his grandma's medicine. I knew that was gonna come back anyway. So he takes a bunch of it, and then he was thinking like, oh man, like, as he took it, he goes, no, wait, I regret. He's like, I'm gonna puke it out. And then you hear outside the bathroom, you hear snap, because he went to the store again and bought like the rest of the stock, which was 2, because he bought one, and he was like, he was like trying to, like, in the car, he's like, I wish she would not care about me. It's not gonna work. You know. And then he goes to his guy friend, and he's like, no, like, it's because of this, I wished, and that's how, like, she ended up, you know, like, that this is the reason why, you know, blah, blah, it's not because of you, it's because I wished it, da. And so the friend was like, whatever, I wish for $1 million, like that. And then all of a sudden, literally, money started raining down on him, which I thought was so fucking hilarious. So he has one wish thing he left, and then the guy friend, you know, is like knocking on the door, and he's like, hey dude, like, check it out, that money is real, holy shit. And the girl, like, she turns around, bam, right in the, it's like, wow, you got like $1 bajillion, and you can't use it because you dead now. And she snapped her, like, the other thing, we're just gonna guess that her possessed self was like, I hope he comes out of the bathroom and kisses me and loves me, you know, whatever, because, like, he stops himself from trying to induce vomiting, gets out, you know, goes and, like, they kiss, mwah, and all of a sudden, you know, because all the meds are in him, all of a sudden he's like, you know, foam, all that stuff, and she's like, oh my god, what's going on, what happened, blah, blah, blah. And she's freaking out, and it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet ending kind of thing, because, like, he kills himself, and then because she has the gun, she's like, I'm gonna do it, you know, like, why, I need him, but he dies before she pulls the trigger, because she was about to, she was right there, and then all of a sudden she's like, the fuck, you know, and all of a sudden she, like, looks down and sees, you know, Broseph, just, and she's like, what the fuck, God, what the, and she's like, oh my god, like, and she's like, like, losing it, because she realized, like, I don't know, however long, like, I don't know what the span of this movie is, maybe like a week or 2 or something, let's just say 2 weeks. The time frame of this movie. So she like loses track of like time and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden your guy that you're friends with and you see as a brother suddenly is like dead in your lap, and you're wearing some random woman's dress. You probably will realize later there's a dead woman in the next room. You have a gun in your hand, you're covered in blood, you're just like, what the fuck is this shit? So she was just like, so she's like, ah, and the movie just like, it ends with her just like, ah, and oh my god, like I said, it's one of those be careful what you wish for monkey paw kind of movies, but I like this approach to it. I do like it. I do like that, like it was like they went really crazy. There was like that one part where like she like moves backwards, and I was like, oh, like because that was like the real her trying to come out and like charge at him, but then like the possession came back. She's like, love you, kisses, kind of thing. But yeah, like this is definitely like top contender, like for next year for my list. I still haven't gotten to the back rooms. It'll probably be like another week or so till I like get to see that. But yeah, like that. I enjoy that. I was like, all right, cool. Like I said, you're taking a concept that's been done before and you're just amping it up. And it's so funny because I've been seeing reviews of like men reacting to this movie, and a lot of them are just like, what the fuck? Like 1,000-yard stare kind of shit, where they're like, oh fuck, okay, wow. And then a lot of women's reaction to this movie is like, good for her for like, or there's someone on Tumblr, it was like the New York meme, but she, instead of Beyonce, she's like, Nikki, I'm sorry this crusty ass man did that to you, girl. And it's like, exactly, like she didn't deserve that. Obviously she didn't deserve that. The good thing she didn't die, because I read that like one of the endings was that they were both, again, Romeo and Juliet, they were both gonna die. I probably would have really been mad. Because again, girl, you didn't deserve that. I probably wouldn't like, oh fuck, god damn it. Like the last thing she remembers, like probably being dropped off at her place and then being stuck in the sunken place while this guy uses her. But the fact that she like, survived it, yeah, I don't know how she's gonna explain that to the cops, but you know what? We're gonna believe, because like I think, well, actually no, all her friends are dead. Fuck, I was like, oh, everyone. Well, she still has a boss. Anyway, I was gonna like, yeah, all her friend group is dead. But I'm like, there's other people around. There's people at the party. The people at the party can vouch. Never mind that she lost her shit. Never mind. We're not gonna think about the police report. We're not doing that. Anyway, I'm hungry. I need to make dinner. But yeah, that was, oh god, obsession. I was knocked over my boba. All right.